wearing baggy pants, you need to stop. Instead, you should get some flare jeans.
Proportions is the most important part of the outfit. For example, look at this gun outfit. When he wore this, a lot of people clowned him.
What?
It's Friday today, so let's get dressed. So it's date night tonight, so let's get dressed. So it's been a while since I want to start this beautiful bomber jacket today. I'm off to the movies, so I want to start this jacket.
I'm your host, Fashion Elitist, aka JQ, and today's video essay will be on how TikTok has ruined our minds. I have 4 main points, or ideas, or whatever. First, we're going to go into the perception, overconsumption, relatability, and the misinformation. Now let's dive headfirst into perception. I'm a bit frustrated and a bit disappointed. I've lost hope for humanity. I've lost hope for fashion, and fashion will never be the same ever since the combining of minds that is TikTok. The amount of dumb that it's created. The one thing that I do want to talk about with perception and these little smaller points, main ideas that I'm going to cover during perception, I guess formulated in my essay, is our perception becomes skewed because of the unrealistic standards and expectations that TikToks end up holding upon ourselves. The expectations a lot of the times for fashion, especially on TikTok, or I would say any social platform, is that you always have to be going crazy on everybody. If you're not dressed to impress, then your style sucks, it's mid, and you're literally balls. It's a quite unrealistic expectation to really have on ourselves because it's not like we have a lot of statement pieces, or if you have a timeless wardrobe that is catered to your own style or your own specifications, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to always be going crazy. You're not going to be always having the most interesting outfits. Sometimes people like to dress comfortably. You know, our mood changes and so do our outfits. So the thing is, these expectations we might hold because we see these 5-second videos, these 20-second videos of people going crazy because they're only posting their most interesting outfits, they're wearing their most interesting clothes, and it develops in our minds that we need to also follow that format to then conform to this idealization of what TikTok's really pushing to us. And if you do end up following that, you end up going into this pit, this void, you stare into the abyss, and you realize, holy shit, I suck at dressing. You might fill yourself with negativity. You might become pessimistic. As you end up going down this pit of insecurity, you end up feeling almost pushed out of a community and you no longer fit the standard. And that's quite disappointing.
So I'll give you some examples of unrealistic expectations. For example, like the expectation to continue to follow every single new microtrend that pops up, or even the pressure to. The expectation to always be in trend regardless if it's garbage, like let's be honest here, what are you even thinking? The expectation to be an individual, not be labeled as a TikTok core. The expectation to purchase dumb items that will help improve your style. What is this consumeristic mindset we're pushing onto these individuals who are only trying to figure out what their style is and maybe even find out what they truly like, but they end up taking advice from these booth content creators, these walking billboards.
H&M, just send me some clothes.
For Amazon, Zara, Jaded London, and H&M. And this leads to TikTok creating insecurities. Now, you might be asking yourself, what insecurities can TikTok really create? Are these people not aware of themselves enough not to be pressured into following others? All I really gotta say to that is the people who barely join fashion are lost and they tend to look for people who seem confident, kind of like me. And to be honest, I probably do have the right opinion. Like, let's be honest here, these are all jokes. I hope everyone gets my sarcastic nature, please. I'm not pretentious, I swear. But since they are so lost, they tend to look for people that are really confident, right? And that are pretty sure of themselves. Or they'll look at the amount of likes, views, and positive comments posts get to then kind of garner whether they should be following whatever that post is telling them to do. So, for example, these items will help improve your style types of TikToks, create the mindset that your style is already bad and that these items will only help improve it, which in itself attacks a person in such an interesting way that it creates a micro insecurity, I would have to say, that then pushes a viewer to only purchase said items or outfits to then, I guess, help fulfill the need of improving their style, which in reality, it really doesn't. Like, let's be honest here, a lot of these outfits are quite boof, and a lot of the items that they're only pushing to people to purchase are just completely a waste of money. And everybody, let's be honest with ourselves, this copy and paste format might work for your homework, but don't do it for your outfits. Seriously, get a grip. Not only do those TikToks pressure people, but the many other TikToks only promoting overconsumption and the 20 kilogram rep hauls that I see, and also any other articles of clothing are just not really helping your growth at all or your journey into fashion. It's only going to stunt you. And to be honest, you're only going to be buying all these items that will just fill your closet up with just the amount of space they take up. You'll end up forgetting about these items, and most likely they get lost in your closet, and it just becomes a waste of money. And honestly, if you want to try and sell these items, they probably hold no value, and once you buy them and you walk out of the store with them, they already lost inherent value, and you'll just never get your money back. It's just a waste of money, waste of time, and really just a waste of your space. And if these people aren't 5 credit cards deep in debt, then I really don't know where they're getting this money from. Maybe from a drug ring, maybe they're scammers. Like, I really don't know where these people are getting this amount of money to be buying all these clothing pieces, but they're somehow making their bread, they're stacking it, and it's all going to waste. Now, I mean, the list does go on. There are many things that can cause insecurities on TikTok, from the get readies with me and the sexy thirst traps we see all the time. Like, God, this makes me want to have abs. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on what other insecurities you can see from just social media in general, or if you want to be on topic with the whole TikTok thing that I'm talking about, leave some comments down below and just tell me what you've been noticing. And now let's branch into the Chronically Online perspective.
Now, I'm pretty sure most of us are chronically online, like myself. If you ever went out and touched grass, the likelihood of you seeing a lot of these TikTok outfits that you see on the internet is very unlikely, depending on your area. Of course, this really depends on where you live, what the landscape of fashion is there, and what really people are interested in wearing, or the climate. There's all these different things, like how interesting and cool your neighborhood is, if you're safe to even be wearing certain items out. And the reality is, we end up developing this chronically online perspective. With this perspective, we end up latching onto this idea that anything that is constantly shown to us by the algorithm is basic. Well, while we're gobbling up all this new information that we're seeing on the internet, we're seeing all these outfits constantly being reposted or copy and pasted because there's such an easy format to follow that we soon end up believing that these outfits are now the new basic, the new AF1, the new common projects, the new heart shoe. Since TikTok is literally an isolated group of individuals that are constantly being shown on your FYP, because it is very much formulated to what you're watching, a lot of those outfits will seem reused, common. I had to let go of my hater mentality, and it's crazy that I'm even saying this because I always held on to that like it was my child. Now, once I let go of my hate, I soon did realize that, it's not really realistic to have these standards in a real life scenario. Although you may hate what is being fed to you on the internet of TikTok, it isn't necessarily real life. And this is where we go into the second point where I talk about overconsumption. The pressure is so immense to have a stupid amount of clothes in your wardrobe on a consistent basis, because 1, you either need to be following trends, 2, you need to be going crazy on them like I mentioned in the perspective point of this video, and 3, if your wardrobe isn't looking like an archive sale rack, then you're not into fashion. It's a very interesting pipeline to really see a lot of individuals constantly pressuring themselves to be over-consuming and purchasing a lot of product because, let's not lie here, it does fill the void for just a few minutes. And even that instant gratification brings joy into my life. But as soon as I receive all these packages and I'm ripping and tearing them open, and I grab all the product that I own, you may actually realize that these clothing pieces that I bought were out of impulse. And although I get to make content with it, or I get to show off to my friends, and I get to show off my cool pieces that I have for the internet, you soon realize that the clothing pieces don't really fit your wardrobe, and you don't really have that many pieces to wear with it because it's not interchangeable. It's not minimalistic. It's not timeless. Soon enough, you have these pieces in your wardrobe that you just spent so much money on, and you can't even really wear them. Or if you end up wearing them, it's only for a few minutes of the day for an Instagram photo shoot. First of all, if you can afford to do this, because obviously I would never be talking about people that can only afford to buy fast fashion, because you are only going to be buying what you really need, and you're going to be trying to make that last for a year. or more than 2 months, you know? Now, I'm specifically talking about these people that do like Shein hauls, these people that do Zara hauls, these people that go to PacSun and go to the malls and buy fast fashion there because they think this is the new, cool, trendy thing that I need to consume because I need to buy stuff. And that's kind of where we go into the pipeline of micro trends and just trends in general. Since we have this pressure to overconsume and follow trends, we're constantly in this habit or cycle, I would say the trend cycle, of constantly buying something new and then throwing it away or throwing it in the back of our wardrobe or, better yet, donating it. And we end up losing a lot of our money like that. And TikTok does not help that, because the case with TikTok is, since there's so many people so many minds being meshed into like one area, it's like gravy. It is so smooth and it's so fast that you can instantly find a new trend or a new style that you want to consume in, but you end up wasting a lot of your money, and you also just add to the textile waste that is ever growing in the back of our landfills. So the main point I'm trying to say is, don't mindlessly consume, don't buy into trends, and always buy with a purpose, especially for your wardrobe, and you'll be chillin'. And with that, I'll let my fellow fashion philosopher take over.
Hey guys, I'm FHTV from the YouTube channel FHTV, and I've been graciously invited on here today in order to share my genius and brilliant opinions on TikTok with you all. This is a very serious discussion, so I will not waste your time. Honestly, I feel as if your opinions on TikTok sort of depend on how you use it. It's very easy, of course, to hate on it and call it cringe or whatever, but if you take the content you see on there at face value and don't think too deeply about it, then there's a good chance you'll have a much better time than someone who is basically looking for stuff to hate and make fun of. We all know that the algorithm on there is sort of juiced, and it doesn't take long to show us what we want to see. However, my main gripes pertain to the sheer amount of content on there. Obviously, TikTok is very ADHD brain, short-form content, quantity over quality biased. Creators are pressured to keep creating and churning out content like a machine in order to stay relevant. This ultimately leads to a lack of substance and a lot of throwaway content. This is often seen within the fashion niche. Now, I post fashion-related commentary videos on YouTube, so that pretty much makes me an expert on this subject, and you should never question what I have to say. But with TikTok, on the other hand, there are a lot of unqualified people on there, which can lead to the spread of misinformation. I love spreading misinformation on the internet as much as the next guy, but this fashion stuff is no joke. Sure, TikTok can be a good starting point for maybe some lighthearted fashion tips and advice, but obviously don't base your entire opinion on something simply because you watched a 30-second TikTok on it. Always be mindful of where you are getting your fashion lore from. There are too many people on TikTok claiming to be Vogue scholars who have their PhD in fashion design and have lived in New York City for 30 years and work in trend forecasting. If someone is talking about a certain designer or rise of a particular motif or whatever else it may be, maybe take a bit of extra time to do your own research in order to make sure that what they're saying is correct. You're being fed a lot of passive information on TikTok, which is information that you're not actively seeking out, meaning you probably won't retain as much as if you were to sit down and actually spend time researching something. I don't think that TikTok is this evil force that you should avoid at all costs. It would be unfair of me to make some generalized statement that everyone on there is dumb and every video is bad. Just take TikTok for what it is, an entertainment platform. Be mindful of where you're getting your information from, do your own research if you're serious about this stuff, and don't let just anyone influence your opinion on something, unless, of course, it is fashion elitist or myself.
Now, there's a lot of things to talk about, really, just in general, with the relatability that is TikTok, because who doesn't want to remain relevant? I've met my fair share of annoying influencers in the wild that think they're better than everybody, that they're cooler, and you may be thinking, well, JQ, aren't you also an influencer? No, I'm not. We see a constant strive for relatable content because it's the easiest clicks and clacks for instant views and instant gratification of comments telling us, yo, W Riz, your fits are awesome, you're a huge influence to my life, and I realize that I should continue to live my life to the fullest because of your outfits. It's like a drug. Now, the thing about influencers and the underwhelming copy and pastes of constant anime fits because of wisdom, we see so much unoriginality because people are trying to copy a format that isn't truly who they are, but it works well. And listen, I'm guilty of it too. You know, I make get readies with me like Daniel Simmons. You know, they're kind of fun to make and they're kind of interesting to look at. But we as content creators have to realize that we do also set an expectation for a lot of people that end up watching us that they may be needing to have the same amount of clothes that seems to be endless on our page. And even with the amount of underwhelming copy and paste that we see with a lot of other TikTokers, we also do end up playing a part in everything that I've covered with the overconsumption and the skewed perspectives. And not only that, but we are also a curse to the fashion realm. Because after all, if we weren't content creators and we weren't making funny little TikToks on TikTok, then what would people be consuming, really? I've talked about fake positivity in my last video, and I don't feel like I need to really reiterate any of the other things, so feel free to watch that video if you're curious about my takes on the fake positivity in the scene. But I'll never preach that you should be hateful towards anybody, but I will preach that you should be a critic. And critics are dead, especially on TikTok. I'd be critiquing things, I'd be giving constructive criticism because it's very difficult, and I feel the need to, because the thing is, if I'm not doing it, then who's gonna do it? And the thing about influencers influencing is it's a annoying thing to see big influencers in fashion supporting brands like H&M because they got a sponsored deal, or brands like Zara or Shein, Boohoo Man. At the end of the day, there's a parasocial relationship that I think a lot of people need to realize that they actually end up having, and they have a lot of power to influence people into buying things that they don't need. So that's basically everything I can really say about TikTok, or that's kind of everything that's been in my mind. I've pretty much run dry with the wisdom I can really give out. But if you have any conversations that you'd like to have, or discussion points, or anything you want to add to this video, leave some comments down below. I'd love to hear your points and just kind of your words of wisdom, you know? I'd also like to give a huge shout out to FHTV for joining me on this discussion, and I really appreciate him joining us here today. Remember to show this man some appreciation in the comments, because he did share his wisdom that I've been yearning for about TikTok. But to eliminate a huge tangent that I can go on, I appreciate everyone that's joining me for this YouTube video, and I hope you leave some nice conversation points in the comments. I always love reading what people have to say, and if you want to hate or critique something about the video, please let me know what your thoughts were in the comments. Like, I'll read them and I will fester in the hate, and it probably will make me go into a spiral. But anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Later, Drainers. Now you might be wondering, why does your personality seem a little bit different? A very slight difference here. And the main reason is it's my frames. I lost my OG glasses, my archive glasses that they discontinued. They don't make them anymore. I've gotten so many questions about them. I lost them. I dropped them. They fell out of my pocket. I got tired of wearing them. I took them off, put them in my coat pocket. They fell out when I was coming home at 4 a.m. Don't even ask me why I was coming home at 4 a.m. There's no reasonable explanation for that, but I was coming home really late and they fell and I lost them. And I tried looking for them the next morning, but it was raining and they were gone because someone saw how cool and archived they were. They took them, they stole them from me. Someone stole my glasses. I don't know where they're at. I'm really sad about it, but guess what? I have the backup personality glasses right here, and I might seem a little bit different because these glasses hold a different personality or persona. That is JQ. Now, you may not like the person that I am currently at the moment, but I will tell you, it's better than me without any glasses, because look at this. I look terrible. I've lost all sense of self. I don't even know who I am anymore. But here we are. If you're still here, remember to watch one of these videos, and hopefully I'll be able to find my glasses at some point. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to even be a possibility, but hopefully Warrior Parker reaches out to me and I can find them. I don't know. It's a tragedy. It really is a tragedy, but you'll just have to get used to this guy that is wearing these lame glasses. It kind of sucks, but I don't know. With that, I'll catch you in the next one.